Welcome to the session today. Today is our first session. I'm going to give you the demo. What are the course content that we're going to discuss? And the very first thing what I will do is like today, how to create a free tier account in the GCP. That is what is the agenda today. And first, I will also tell you what is the course content that we are going to discuss in our session. Okay, so all the things related to the course content, and after that I will tell you how to create a free tier account in the GCP. First, let us understand what is a Google Cloud Platform, guys. Okay, so GCP, what is GCP? Guys, we are saying nowadays cloud platforms become very famous because cloud platforms are mainly responsible for the cloud computing. Okay, so all the computation required for the data engineering or Kubernetes or application development, everything will be taken care by the cloud platform itself. Likewise, in the Google Cloud Platform is one of the leading cloud provider like AWS and Azure. So it is also providing you the cloud computing services. Okay. If we have to say what are the services that the GCP is providing, okay, in terms of a data engineering, you can look at the databases that it is providing, and also big data tools, big data processing tools, so many other. So these are the things that the Google Cloud provides. For example, there is a compute engines, Kubernetes engines, app engines, like with cloud functions, serverless platforms, fully managed services. Okay, so all of these things that the Google Cloud platform is providing for us. Okay, in our session, what we are going to discuss this, let me open a OneNote where I'll tell you what is the course content that we are going to discuss in our session and a later point of time. So if you guys have any questions, I will we will spend the time to discuss the discuss if you guys have any questions. And let me tell you what is the course content first. So here is the course content, guys. So as we already know, as I mentioned, Google Cloud Platform is providing a pool of cloud computing services such as Google storage and database services, as well as big data services. Okay, here also you can see Google big data services. Okay, so in our session, what we are going to discuss is these are the things that we are going to discuss in our session, guys. Google storage and database services. Okay, the very first service that is what we are going to discuss is Google Cloud Storage. What is a Google Cloud Storage? Why it is important? What kind of a tool it is? What kind of a data it is going to store? All the things related to the Google Cloud Storage. And not only that, very important things about is like security aspect, because Google Cloud is one of the scalable and secured platform. So when you say secure platform, how do you make sure that it is secure? So with the help of the access control, with the help of the retention policies, with the help of the bucket access. So all of these things we are going to discuss. And after that, we are going to look at the cloud SQL. Okay. For that one, let me actually open my pen. Database services. Okay. This is one point where we will be able to learn storage and database services. Okay, in this one, we are going to first see Google Cloud Storage. Yes, Google Cloud Storage is acting as a data lake in the GCS. GCP. So we are going to learn all the concepts related to the GCP. So it is acting as a data lake. So we will learn what is a data lake, why it is a Google Cloud Storage is having a considered as a data lake here, how much amount of data we can store in the Google Cloud Storage, all of those things we will see. Okay, and we will see practically how to create a bucket and how to upload objects and how to work with the Google Cloud Storage with from the Cloud Shell or Linux commands. So all of those things we will see, guys. And one more thing. So this is a storage perspective. What about the database perspective? So for the RDBMS solutions, RDBMS, we have Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner, guys. So we have two services which are considered as the RDBMS solutions, Cloud SQL as well as Cloud Spanner. What is this Cloud SQL, guys? Cloud SQL is one of the fully managed services provided by the GCP for running the MySQL database, MySQL engines, as well as PostgreSQL engines, as well as SQL Server. That means if you have a on-premises MySQL, if you wanted to migrate it to the same MySQL with the same version to the cloud, you have these services available, readily available, guys. Okay, so this is a Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner that we are going to see in our sessions. Instead, I would say here like this. Storage services. We have here RDBMS. In RDBMS, we have first one Cloud SQL, second one is Cloud Spanner. Okay, these are the two services comes under RDBMS. What about a NoSQL databases, guys? If you ask me, so in a NoSQL databases, we have a big table. NoSQL databases. So we have big table, and we have one more thing called data store. Okay, so these are the two databases acting as a NoSQL databases in the GCP. One is big table, one more is data store, guys. Okay, so these are all storage and database services. Okay, what is one is Google Cloud Storage, one more is Cloud SQL, Cloud Spanner, and the third one is a big table and data store. So these are the Google Cloud Storage and database services. Okay. So what about the other big data tools that we are learning, sir? If you ask me, the big data tools that we are learning here is because we do get the data from a multiple data sources, right? We do get the data from multiple data sources. Once the data from a multiple data sources we are going to first send it to the storage layer or a data lake or a staging layer. Once we have the data in the staging layer, we wanted to send the data to where, guys? We wanted to send the data to send that data to the data warehouse. After that, there will be a different users will be there. Either it will be an ad hoc request, or it will be a reporting purposes, or it will be a business manager asking for a requirement. So there will be different requirements. So based on those requirements, we are going to create some insight tables on the data warehouse. Those will be used for the reporting purposes, or those will be used for the decision making purpose. Okay, so this is how it looks like this. If I wanted you to understand clearly, so here data will be first ingested into the data lake. So here it can be an RDBMS. It can be a web server on an application. It can be a web server on an application, guys. Or it can be a CSV file from an application or IoT data from an IoT application. So you get a data from a multiple data sources. You try to ingest the data into the data lake. So this is your data lake, guys. You try to ingest the data into the data lake. And once you have the data in the data lake, you try to first send the data to the where, guys. You try to process the data and send it to the data warehouse. Okay, what you are doing, guys, here, you are trying to process the data. Okay, process the data, transform the data, clean the data, whatever the things you name it, all of those things, guys. Okay, you try to process the data and send it to the data warehouse. Finally, as per the business requirements, it will be creating a ML models. There will be a dashboard requirements. There will be ad hoc requirements. So based on the BA requirements or ML or some ad hoc required. Ad hoc. Okay. So this is how it will be, guys. Okay, so this is what is a typical architecture of a data world, guys. A data engineering, in a data engineering, what we will do in a high level, if you want you to understand, this is what we do, guys. So we will be working on an ingestion process. Here it is a source, guys. You can think this is a source. Okay, from source to the staging or a data lake. People call it as a storage layer. Okay, and here we are going to do what, guys? Ingestion, right? Ingestion are collecting the data, and what we are doing is we are doing process. What we are doing in a data warehouse, we are trying to analyze the data, transform or analyze, right? Transform, finally analyze. Analysis. So this is what I am calling, what you know, guys. This is what is mean by a data life cycle. In a data life cycle, you're gonna get the data from a source. You do the ingestion into a storage layer, and you do processing on top of it to clean the data, prepare the data. You do some transformations on top of it, and you try to analyze the data to improve your business. So this is what is called as a data life cycle. In a data life cycle, ingesting the data, collecting or ingesting the data, and storing the data, processing or transforming the data, finally analysis, or you can also say dashboards, report creation. You can also say report creation, reporting. Okay, reporting. Okay, so this is what is the typical life cycle, data life cycle, guys. In a data life cycle, this from the source to the finally reporting, that is where your destination is, right? You are going to create some dashboards, or you have a table that you can do directly do the analysis, or you ingest the data and finally store it in a one, instead of a storage layer, you can just mention it as a storage layer, storing, data storing. Okay. Okay, this is what it is, a typical architecture. In this one, what you are doing, you are having a data sources from here, and you are ingesting into the data lake, and from the data lake to the data warehouse. Finally, you will be having a different requests. So based on this one. So in a data life cycle, these are the processes that you are coming up with, guys. In this one, you see, you are having a source, sorry. You are having a source, ingesting, storing, processing, as well as transforming the data. So this is what is a typical architecture. It will be real. This architecture is very helpful for you to understand the data engineering, guys. But here, what are the RDBMS? So, okay, sir, this is a data engineering life cycle. But you tell me, what are the RDBMS technologies that we are going to learn in our sessions? If you ask me that question, okay. So here I have mentioned here RDBMS, Cloud SQL and Cloud Spanner. Sometimes it can be a non-RDBMS as well, nothing but a NoSQL databases as well. That can be a big table or a data store. Okay. Sir, for ingestion purpose, what are the tools that we are using, sir? There are plenty of the tools for the ingestion purpose. People are using the PubSub, people are using the Kafka connector. We are going to learn the PubSub, guys. Okay. What about the data lake, sir? As a data lake, we are learning the Google Cloud Storage, guys. Okay. What is the data lake, sir? In GCP, we are learning the Google Cloud Storage that is acting as a data lake. Okay. And after that, we wanted to do some processing on top of it, right? This is also very important step, guys. This is not the very simple step. Processing. What are the processing tools that we are going to learn in our session? If you ask me, I want to mention those points here. Okay. Data processing services. Data processing services, that first thing we are going to learn is data proc for Hadoop and Spark environment. Data flow for Apache Beam with Apache Beam programming model. Data fusion for creating a data pipelines without writing any code. One more is Cloud Composer, nothing but Airflow environment, managed Airflow instance, guys. For creating a DAGs. It is a workflow orchestration tool where you create a DAGs with the help of the Python coding, guys. Very important tool. Okay. You're going to look at the PubSub. And so these are the data processing systems that you are going to learn in our session, guys. Okay. So this is what I call as a data processing tool. Data processing tools in GCP. Okay. So if you wanted to process the data, okay, you can use these many tools. According to your requirements, sir, if I wanted to work with the data, if I wanted to work with the Hadoop environment and Spark environment, then you go for the data proc. If you wanted to work with a serverless platform and Apache Beam programming model, then you go for the data flow. You don't wanted to create a data pipe. You wanted to create a data pipeline, but you don't wanted to write any code. You wanted to create a pipeline and do the transformations without writing any code. That's where you have to go for the data fusion, guys. And one more thing, you have a plenty of workflows with you and you wanted to manage all the workflows, schedule them, manage them. And even if something goes wrong also, if you wanted to take care of the fixing the problems, issues, you can look at the logs, all of those things. If you wanted to have, you can go to the Cloud Composer, that is the Airflow Manager instance where you will be able to have plenty of options available. You can schedule the pipelines, you can monitor the pipelines, you can create the DAGs, you can do anything in there. And one more thing is a PubSub is an big data ingestion tool where you will be able to streaming data ingestion tool where you will be able to create a topic and subscription for each and every application where you wanted to get the data. So a message will be pushed to the topic and via subscription data will be reached to the final application. So this is what is the data processing tools, guys. Okay. And after that, okay, after that, not only this one, sir. For example, in your company, you wanted to do some kind of a triggering. For example, think that in your data warehouse, you have created one table and that table is having a lot of problems. Okay. If problems are more than one, you wanted to get an email alert. Okay. What do you wanted to do, sir? If a problem has, if the issues are more than one, you wanted to get an email alert. Okay. That is one thing. And one more requirement is like you are creating a data bucket in the Google Cloud Storage and there will be a file uploaded. As soon as the file is uploaded to the data lake, you wanted to send it to the data warehouse by doing some transformations. Okay, so that is where one more you wanted to trigger an event. So if you wanted to do some kind of event based things in the GCP, you have a cloud functions readily available, guys. It is a serverless platforms. You can go for event based things. That is also we are learning, guys. Cloud functions very important tool. This is also okay. The cloud functions also we are learning. And if you wanted to manage the user and access, identity and access management, user and project management. If you wanted to manage your project and user access, that's where you have a very bigger tool. It will be available in all the cloud platforms. That is IAM, guys, very important. In IAM, what is a user, what is a user account, what is a service, what is a service account, and what is the role, what is the permission, everything, each and everything, because this will be very helpful for those who wanted to manage the access. Because as a 3 years, 4 years experience, guys, or more than that, we need to understand at least who should be having access to what. Okay, who should be having access to what, and what kind of actions he can do it in that particular service. Unnecessarily we don't want it to provide access to anyone, right? So that is where we will be taking care of all the user access as well as the project management with help of the IAM. IAM is a very authorization tool, I would say. Authorization tool in the GCP. Not only in the GCP, it will be available in the AWS as well as Azure as well. Okay, identity access management, guys, that is also we are learning. So you will be able to see here data lake, cloud spanner, cloud SQL, cloud spanner, bigtable, data proc, data flow, data fusion, cloud composer, pubsub, cloud functions, and user and access management with the help of the IAM. So these are all the tools that we are going to learn in a very detailed manner. Okay, data processing is here. And I sorry guys, I actually forgot a very important tool, that is BigQuery. That is our data warehouse, right? That is also comes, actually that is not a data processing tool, that is a data warehouse tool. It is a BigQuery. Okay. BigQuery. Okay, what is a BigQuery, guys? BigQuery is a modern data warehouse. It is acting as a data warehouse in the GCP. Okay, so this is also one more important thing that I actually forgot to mention somewhere. So this is a very important tool, sir, comparatively. Okay, so this is all about the data warehouse. And if you wanted to connect it to the data warehouse and do some BI activities, we have a data studio and data looker, but we are not just focusing on those data visualization part, but at the end of the session, how people are connecting it to the data warehouse and doing some dashboards on top of our data, how and how it will be helpful for them. So we will see for those things, but it is not too much deeper, guys. This course is only responsible. This course is mainly intended for the data engineers. Okay, so this is what we are going to do, guys. Okay, any questions anyone having so far on the course content? Any questions, guys?
Yeah, hi Saidhul, good morning.
Yeah, good morning everyone. Yeah,
So in this course content, did you cover all kind of like a AD authentication, like Active Directory part is or not?
so that is comes under IAM. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And cloud functions. Okay.
Yes,
So it's a kind of like a developer tool.
it's a data engineering. Which
Okay.
one you are asking? Cloud functions is a developer tool.
Yeah, no. I'm asking. Basically I'm a .NET developer. So can I
Okay,
consume those services to how my
of course.
intention is to create service with authenticated
Sure.
authorized service, and I can consume that service through .NET.
That yeah, you can learn a lot of things here. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
How much frequently you'll be using SQL?
Your voice is very less. I couldn't actually hear. Can yeah.
How much frequently you'll be using SQL queries?
Yeah, frequency of SQL queries. So I would like you to understand that SQL and Python becomes very famous here in the data engineering. If you wanted to see Cloud SQL, Cloud Spanner SQL, BigQuery SQL, and even if I go to a data proc and if I wanted to work with the PySpark, I'd be using the Python plus SQL plus Spark. Okay, so again it comes in SQL and data flow SQL, data fusion, no tool, cloud, it's a Python. So this is how it is, guys. If you wanted to understand all the concepts, whichever, whatever I am saying, so you would be able to, I am expecting prerequisite for the course is a basic or at least a basic knowledge on, medium knowledge on SQL and little bit of Python. Little bit, at least what is the data type? Okay, all the data types, if you learn it in the Python, that is enough. Okay, but SQL, I would expect a medium knowledge, guys. Okay, so SQL is very important. And as a data engineer, if you wanted to grow, SQL is very much important, and you should be able to understand all the concepts. For example, what are those concepts are? All the data types, or actually how to create a table, how to delete and update tables. Those things are DDL commands and DML commands, and aggregations. Okay, so basic, I would say. So the concepts that you can focus on the SQL and Python, I would like to explain here, guys, so that if you are familiar with these concepts, you are well and good. Okay, in SQL. Okay, so all DDL and DML. So these are the basic things. I know you have to just focus on how to create a table, how to delete a table, how to truncate a table, how to update a table, these things. Okay, and after that I would expect you to have a aggregate, learn about aggregate things, aggregate functions. Okay, and one more thing is ranking functions, and the fourth thing is we have table. So there is a temp table, common table expressions, and there is also one more concept, so we focus on that as well. Temp table, common table. In a temp table, there is a local temp table, global temp table, and the common table expressions. So these things, CTE. And the thing I forgot, one more thing. Yes, mainly, guys. So join. Okay. Unions, group by, order by. Okay, group by, order by. I think this is it. If you are just coming up, if you are focusing on these things, that is enough. In aggregate function, min, max, count, all of those things. Ranking, row number, a dense rank, a rank function, all of those things. And a temp table and CTE joins. You will be at least inner join, left join, right join. That is enough. Unions, union and union all. Group by, order by. I think this is enough, I believe, for the SQL, guys. Okay, if I remember anything, I will tell you. For the Python, I would expect you to have first thing, data types, guys. All the data types and differences. Very important thing. It actually takes a lot of time to understand these data types. And okay, then the very next thing is like aggregate functions. How do you do it in the aggregate function? Okay, if you get a time, look at the map and reduce. And if you still get a time, just focus on pandas framework. In a pandas, look at the data frame concept. How to create a data frame concept. That's it. Okay, if you are just focusing on these things, that is enough, I believe. Okay, all the data types, aggregate functions, map and reduce, pandas, data frame concept, if you get it. Okay, but minimum, the basic thing I would expect is this thing, all the data types and their differences. Because if I say list, you should understand what is a list. If I say tuple, if I say a dictionary, if I use some other data type, you should be in a position to understand what is an array. You should not confuse, right? You should not, you should not be able to, you should be able to understand each and every term that I'm using in the Python. So that is what I want you to understand. Okay, so these are the concepts that I would expect from you guys. These are very simple concepts. If you sit for this is for 2 days, this is for 1 day, you'll be able to understand all of these concepts. That's it. And development perspective, what we are going to learn in our session, if you ask me. So these are the prerequisites, right? So what I will be expecting, what kind of a development knowledge that I'm expecting from this course, if you ask me, you can expect, I would directly mention here itself, you can expect SQL development knowledge, and one more is PySpark development. Okay, these are the two things that we are focusing on. Okay, so sometimes we are also using the Python, so Python also you can do. Okay, so this is what it is. So I will also tell you how you can actually go for the Java also. So that is also fine. Sometimes one of the code or two of the codes I will also include the Java, but that is more for you to understand. Okay, this code, the code will also be there in the Java. But the thing is like our main focus is on SQL and Python for the data engineering, guys, because it will be really helpful for you if you wanted to grow your career in a data scientist level or a machine learning mode. Because as a data engineer, if you work for the next 2-3 years, you will be able to easily enter into the data scientist roles, or you can also go for the machine learning roles, because it is actually one another linked, guys. Okay, so this is what is a prerequisite that I would expect from you guys. Okay, this is the thing that I would if you wanted to, sir, what are the concepts that I have to go for before coming to attending these sessions? What are the sessions? What are the things that I have to recapitulate? If you ask me, these are the things you recapitulate, guys. Okay, go for recap. And we will be learning SQL development, Python, PySpark, all of these things. No worries, because SQL will be used in most places. Python will also be used in most places. Okay, so that is one more thing. And we will also be looking at different formats, guys, CSV, Parquet, and big data formats. So I will also be telling you what are the difference between the big data formats. So because in the interviews, some people are asking me if you are working on a big data development, so did you work on the Parquet, and what is the main advantage of using the Parquet? Those kind of things also we will discuss in our sessions. That is not a problem. And I think that is enough, guys. If I missed any questions, okay, I think roles offered after this course. Like once I have completed this course, what are the roles I am eligible? If you ask me, you can go for the data engineering roles. You can go for the Google Cloud Platform and GCP engineer, GCP data engineer, as well as big data developer, PySpark development. You can able to work in the PySpark, because we are not just working in only one area, guys, right? So you can see each and every tool itself, it is a one project, guys. So data project will be there, data flow, data fusion, composer. So these are all roles itself. Okay, so some data engineer working on a data proc, some data engineer working on a BigQuery, some data engineer working data fusion, some data engineer solely working on creating a data. So this is how it will be. And some people working on RDBMS data migration projects. Okay, data lake projects. So these are all things are related to the data projects only, guys. And after this, all the concepts are covered. Okay, during our course also we are going to cover many projects. So few projects are covered. I mean, once for example, if I am talking about a data proc, while I am doing the data proc, I will be able to cover the project as well. So what are how many projects that we are covering, if you ask me? Guys, we are going to cover almost 4 to 5 projects, real-time projects. And one more thing is like, these are real-time projects you can able to put in your resume. That is one point. And one more thing I want you to understand is like, okay, so whenever we talk about a one service, I would go to the Google Cloud Platform and I will try to explain all the things about that service theoretically and practically, and I will implement a solution there itself. So what you have to do is like you take some time in the day and you have to practice the same thing so that you will be able to understand, because practice gives you a lot of knowledge, guys. Understanding everything seems very simple. Okay, while I'm explaining, everything seems very simple, but after 2 days, 3 days, if you don't practice the thing, you wouldn't be able to understand the concept after 2 or 3 days. Okay, I want everyone to put at least spare 2 hours every day, 1 hour for the class, 1 hour for the practice session. Okay, so that is what you have to do, guys. And this course actually takes 40 to 45 hours, guys. More than 40 hours. Okay, more than 40 hours it will take. Okay, we will be having a daily Monday to Friday, 1 hour session. Okay, this is one more thing, and recordings will be shared to your emails. You will get a recording, guys. And one more thing is like what I actually forgot. Course duration, course content, daily 1 hour session. I think this is it, guys. Okay. Okay, this is one thing. And someone is asking me if you guys have any questions, you can ask, guys. Floration, do speak, please.
Hi, sir. Good morning.
Yeah.
So the thing is that I am a VMware guy. From last 8 years, I'm working in VMware. So this platform is completely new to me. So is that a good decision to go for that this course?
Yeah, it will be really helpful for you guys for going to this course. It will really helpful for you. And because why I'm saying is like a data engineering is a foundational course. And one more thing, in our course, I will be starting from very basic to the advanced. I cover sometimes what is a data. I mean, because when we talk about a relational databases, I would talk about what is the data, what are the classification of the data, what is meant by structured, unstructured, semi-structured data. And one more thing is like what are the types of databases available, DBMS, RDBMS, and NoSQL databases. So from starting very basic to the advanced level where we will be able to automate the data pipelines. Automation, until the automation, we will be covering every aspect. So this course will be really helpful for you if you wanted to build your career in the data engineering. Data engineering is not simple, guys. One more thing I want you to understand, very trending technology, very trending. As data keeps on grows, data engineering will be a very trending and hot job for getting a lot of opportunities. First thing, because data keep on grows, data engineer will be in a trending job. Okay, and there will be a plenty of opportunities and highly paid job, guys. If you go and look at the highly paid jobs in the world, data engineering is one of the job which is a highly paid jobs. Okay, yeah. Someone is asking
So,
for a duration. The course duration is 40 plus hours, and course fee you can able to contact the team so that they will be able to help you on the course fee, guys.
Okay. Yeah. So sorry for interrupt. One more thing.
Yeah.
So as you mentioned, the prerequisite that SQL and Python is needed. So, but I don't have that knowledge. That's the reason I'm getting.
So that is the reason. There are people here who does not know the SQL. There are few of my students who does not know the SQL and Python. But what I suggested them is like the only thing why my point of mentioning the concepts here is this one. You take a snap of this one. If you wanted to build your career in the data engineering, you take a snap of this page and look to go to the Google or YouTube or anywhere. There are plenty of resources for SQL and Python. Only focus on these concepts. I'm telling you, it wouldn't take 3 to 4 days. Okay, getting the basic knowledge on these concepts, it wouldn't. That's the reason I have mentioned here the concept. There's no point of mentioning the concepts if you guys already know it. So there are few people who does not know the SQL, who does not know the Python, but still they wanted to enter into the data engineering world. So that is why I have mentioned here the SQL concepts and Python concepts. You take a snap of it and keep it with you. And we will be going to the deeper concepts. It takes 1 week or 1.5 weeks when we enter into the deeper concepts, main concepts. Meanwhile, for this next 5, 6, 7 or 1 week plus 10 days, you will be able to focus on these concepts and get a knowledge on it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
MySQL or MS SQL will be
Both are
using.
same.
All are same.
Both are same. No worries. Yeah.
Okay.
So someone is asking me, I'm planning to make a move in the data engineering. I'm having a 10 years of experience in the Oracle database. How it's helpful for me? I'm telling you, if you are coming from a Oracle database or if you're coming from a, you know, same background like MySQL or a support engineer or whatever the data, if you are working in a data world already, this course will be really helpful for you. You can get a good opportunities. First thing, a lot of hike you can able to expect, guys. A lot of hike you can able to expect. Okay. Okay, so you can expect a good opportunities, and you, if you wanted to be in a trending job, this role really help you. You worked on my Oracle DB. It is kind of a, you know, very good job, but you wouldn't be able to get a high XR. You wouldn't be able to get a laptop opportunities if you wanted to try it out. But data engineering is a very trending job. After 10 years, you wanted to again switch a job. It is again very trending. So it will be there for next 10 to 15 years. Data engineering in a very good position, guys. But this is one thing. And what is the course fee and who can help us to let us know? So for the course fee, guys, you can actually go for, okay. Um, you can contact the IT team. Okay. So they will help you on this thing. Yeah. Any questions anyone having? Some people, okay, sorry guys, there are plenty of questions in the chat. I would try to explain one by one. Okay. And so is this course specially catering the data engineering with GCP and generic cloud computing with Google Cloud? Both. Okay, that is both, guys. Any project included in this course? Of course, guys. Don't worry about the project. Real time when I started my working, and still I am working in the projects. So those projects are I have created as a data engineering project here. Even with the triggering and cloud functions also I have created how actually the cloud functions will be used in the projects, how a BigQuery will be used in the projects. So those are real time things. You need not to worry about it. How long this course is helpful for you? Sorry, might have missed as you just joined. And this course will be a 40 to 45 hours, close to 2 months, guys. You can think of this course takes close to 2 months. We will use SDK, guys. I sometimes tell you how to install the SDK and all of those things. Yeah. Did you cover cloud computing engine? Yes, cloud computing engine. What is a cloud computing engine? What is a Kubernetes engine? What is the app engine? Basic concepts related to that we will be covering, guys, but not more than that. Yes, because it is a data engineering course. While attending the interviews for the GCP data engineer, the expert certification in GCP data engineering. Certification is mandatory for attending the no, guys. Okay, no. It is not mandatory, but if you have a data engineering certification, this will be really helpful for you. Okay, that actually gives a lot of, if there are 100 points, out of that 10 points or 15 points will be added to you by with help of the data engineering certification. But that's not directly get you the job, land you a job, but the concepts that we are going to cover, if you are having a good knowledge on all of these concepts, this will be really helpful for you to get a job. Yes. So one more thing I want you to understand, whenever I was talking about a one concept, let us just say, okay, let's just say data lake. When we are talking about a data lake or a BigQuery, so for a data lake, I'll try to give you some assignments, guys. Okay. And whenever talking about a BigQuery, I will try to give you 2 to 3 data sets for your assignment. Okay. You have to, what you can do is like you spare your time and focus on the answering those questions. Okay, so that you will be able to, when you try to complete those assignments, you will get a lot of knowledge and creating a lot of knowledge and using that particular solution. Okay, that is one more thing. And the data engineering is not all about the development, it is also about architecture, guys. So you have to focus on, it's not that I should use the BigQuery in a very good way. It's not like that. You should understand that how the BigQuery is, how we can use the BigQuery for a very efficient manner, and how BigQuery helps in a GCP, and how it is different from the other cloud tools and other on-prem tools like Hive as well as Redshift and Synapse. So you have to understand that concept as well. So our main aim of the course is to get a development skills as well as the architecture points, because architecture also very important for us to understand. Every data engineer should go to the data architecture and machine learning solutions. Okay, so this is what we have to understand. Any other questions anyone having? Okay, so you can expect this thing from our course, guys, both actual development plus architecting. So these are the two things that we can expect. And I have mentioned here the all the course details on the chart, guys. You can also go through it. Okay. So time of the timings, I actually forgot to mention the timings, guys. The timings are same timings, guys. 7:30 to 8:30 a.m. Okay, same timings every day. Okay, so these are the timings. Yes. Yeah. Any questions anyone having?
Yeah, Saidhul, I have one question. So I'm
Yeah.
expecting just I have to create one sample web application. Then how I want to deploy that application in the cloud? Is it possible to cover in this session? I mean, in this course content or not?
Actually, for the deploying the pipelines and deploying the things that we are going to discuss, but application, because we are not an application developer, so that thing is not covered.
Okay. Thank you.
But creating a data pipelines, deploying those data pipelines, because that is where we are focusing on as a data engineer. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes. Yeah. Someone is asking a batch time that I have mentioned here, guys. On premises to the cloud. Yes. Data migration on premises to the cloud that we are covering. Yeah. Any other questions, guys? Anyone? From tomorrow onwards, we will be having a initial classes, guys. Today is a demo class, right? So that's the reason. Yesterday's we had a workshop. Today we are having a demo class, first demo. So in the first demo, I'm telling all the things that we are going to cover in our session. Tomorrow, I am going to start with the Google Cloud Storage. So before that, I want you to understand how to create a free tier account. Okay. So I would tell you tomorrow itself. Okay. It wouldn't take more than 5 minutes or 10 minutes. Okay. Tomorrow I will tell you how to create an account. And this is an course content and everything, guys. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, if we have time, I will tell you how to create a free tier account today itself. Yeah. Okay, guys. So this is it for today. So hope I have given you a good understanding of what are the services that we are going to cover in our sessions, and hope you got some idea about a data engineering and a prerequisites, as well as what kind of things that we have to focus on before entering into the data engineering, and what kind of learnings that we can expect out of this course. Okay. Okay. So there will be a comparison, guys. So someone is asking AWS to the GCP. Whenever I am covering one service in the GCP, I would also tell you what kind of a service that is the same available in the AWS as well as Azure as well. So you will be able to have some knowledge on topic names of each and everything. But the only thing you have to understand, one thing is like, if you learn one cloud tool, that means you are learning all other cloud tools. The only thing is like you do not know the proper terminology. That's it. Okay, so if you are learning one tool, that means one cloud tool means you are learning other clouds as well. Okay, so don't think that if I learn what could be a thing that if I go to the company, if they're asking me to work on AWS, it's the same thing. You need not worry about it. The technology is same. The only thing is like a platform is different. That's it. Okay, any GCP support job roles. So all these things, development plus support plus big data developer plus admin plus, this course will be for all of the things, guys, because we are covering the IAM for the admins. We are covering the if you are wanted to go for a support, you need to know the services first. So you should know the development plus support. This course is for the development. If someone wanted to go for a data engineer, a developer or a support developer, support engineer, or admin. So this course will be helpful for all of you guys. Yeah. Okay, guys. Any questions? Okay, guys. Thank you all. Okay. It's so it's almost 8:30. So I'll be here for next 2 minutes. If you guys have any questions, you can ask me. Otherwise, we can wind up the session. Tomorrow, with a very fresh mind, with a very positively, we are going to start our sessions with the Google Cloud Storage. So come up with a very fresh brain, sir, so that you will be able to learn and explore a lot of things in the GCP. This is not just a topic that we are going to explore. We are going to enhance, what I would say, we are going to acknowledge the development, how the Google Cloud platform has designed all of these tools, how these tools are going to helpful in our day-to-day activities. And one more thing is like these technologies are very good, and we will be able to work with any kind of data. So from tomorrow onwards, we are going to learn a lot of new things. Okay, keep your brain open for learning all of these things. Come up with a very fresh brain so that we will be able to see a very new and trending technologies. Okay, guys. Yeah. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Will you be sharing today's recording?
Yes, you will get a mail for today's recording, guys. Don't worry on that. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you all. Have a great day. Hello, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the session today. Hope you guys are doing good. So, yesterday we had discussed what is the course content and everything.
Recording in progress.
Right? From today onwards, we're going to discuss the very first topic, that is in our GCP, we have a GCP database landscape and big data landscape. So one by one, we are going to start with. So in a first half, I'm going to explain few concepts related to the databases, that is our Google Cloud Storage. And after that, we're going to start with at the second of our session, I will tell you how to create a free tier account in the GCP, so that you'll be able to create a free tier account. After that, you'll be able to practice what are the sessions that we are having in. So let me start with the session today. So in the GCP database landscape, this is the agenda, guys. Okay. We are going to explain all the GCP databases landscape and the differences between the RDBMS as well as NoSQL databases. And in this one, we're going to look at the CloudSQL, Cloud Spanner, and Bigtable. Okay, so these are the things. So first, we're gonna see in data lake modernization in the GCP. If you wanted to have a data lake in the GCP, how we can have it? So which tool can be acting as a data lake in the GCP? Let us see one by one, right? So yes, we already know what is a data lake, guys. A data lake is a centralized repository to store the data. Okay, a centralized repository to store or retrieve the data as per the business requirement, right? So what kind of a data we can store, guys? You can see here. We can store structured data, semi-structured data, unstructured data. We can store either if it is a batch data or streaming data. It should be able to withstand for SQL, ML, and searching. We can able to store on-prem data, cloud data, and data. So it is a scalable and secured platform to store the data, retrieve the data for further analysis or processing purpose. So this is what is a data lake, right? We have seen what is a data lake. Let me try to tell you what is a data lake from my notes. This is my notes, guys. Where is that? Yeah. So this is what it is, a data lake. I hope you guys can see my screen clearly. Okay. So usually you get a data from a multiple data sources. So in a data lake, the data lake should be withstand to store any amount of data that is coming from a multiple data sources, and it should not restrict any data format. It should allow any data format to be stored, any amount of data to be stored, and it should be scalable platform and also secured platform. Okay, so that is what is a data lake. A data lake is a centralized repository to store or retrieve the data. And what kind of data we can store, guys? Any kind of data we can store here. Okay, and do we have any restriction on the number of files that we can store here? No, there is no restriction on the number of files that we can store in the data lake. Okay, and it is a scalable and secured platform, right? So this is what is the definition of a data lake. Now let us see data lakes using a GCS. In a Google Cloud platform, we have Google Cloud Storage is acting as a data lake. What is that? Let us see now. Okay, so this is Google Cloud Storage is as a data lake in the GCP. So what is a Google Cloud Storage, guys? So let me go to the paint and try to explain you guys one by one. So from today, from the very first topic that we are going to see is Google Cloud Storage. What is a Google Cloud Storage? Let us see first. Okay. So Google Cloud Storage is one of the fully managed services in the GCP. What is this one, sir? One of the fully managed services in the GCP. What do you mean by that, sir? What is mean by fully managed service? Sir, I want you to understand what is mean by fully managed. For very first thing, I will try to tell you. Sir, if you go to any cloud platform, okay, if you go to any cloud platform, the services in the cloud platform are categorized into two things. One is managed instance, okay, not managed, virtual machine. Second one is managed instance, and third one is serverless. Okay, sir, VM based. People call it as a VM based. Okay, these are the three categories. If you go to any cloud platform, the services in the cloud platform are categorized into three. One is VM based services. One more is managed services or fully managed services, and third one is serverless. What do you mean by that, sir? In a VM based services, okay, for example, look at your laptop. In your laptop, if you wanted to work with any of the Python coding, or if you wanted to develop one application, what do, sir? You manually download one software like Python application, and you will provide some resources to that, and you will try to install that, and after that you go for the application development. What do, sir? Whatever the requirements, whatever the resources, whatever the infrastructure required for your entire application development, you as a person taking care of it, taking considering from the laptop itself. So you need a laptop. That laptop needs to have some kind of resources, and that laptop will have its own configuration. And on top of that, you will again download an application and install on top of your laptop, and again you try to develop an application. Likewise, in a VM based, an entire virtual machine will be given to you, so that an entire virtual machine will be given to you. 1 minute, guys. Sorry, I'm getting a call. 1 minute. Sorry guys, I back now. So there are three categories in the cloud platforms. One is VM based, managed, and serverless. But before this one, if you wanted to understand, there is a one more category which is not a cloud platform. That is non-cloud platform. That is, we call it as an on-premises, right? So we have a one more thing is also there, that is on-premises. It is not a cloud. In on-premises, if you wanted to work with any of the application development, you have to manage your physical infrastructure. Okay. Physical infrastructure you have to manage. Again, if you need to have a separate environment, you have to manage your virtual machine. Manage the virtual machines. Manage the VM. And again, if you wanted to work with an application, you have to manage your application. Okay, because you have to download, install, all of those things. Again, you are the person need to develop the solution. Okay, so in a typical architecture, this is the things happening is in any company. If someone wanted to work with the any application development, first thing there will be a resources part. One is infrastructure. So as a person, we have to take care of the physical infrastructure. Again, if we have to have a development environment separated for each application, we need to go for a virtual machines. And again, we have to manage the application configuration. And finally, we can develop the solution on top of the service. So this is what it is. So in an on-premises, you as a person have to manage all of these things. Yes. Okay. In a on-premises, we have to manage all of these things. Okay. But if you go to the cloud platform, what is the main advantage? Let us see one by one. Okay, very important thing, guys. No one will tell this point, but you have to understand, because somewhere you are seeing a VM based services, somewhere you are using a managed services, somewhere you are using a fully managed serverless platforms. So now you will be able to understand the concept of this one. Okay, in a VM based, you need not to manage the physical infrastructure, because the physical infrastructure will be provided to you in the form of a virtual machine to you. In the cloud platform, you need not to manage the physical infrastructure, but you have to manage your configuration for the virtual machine. You have to manage your application platform as well as development. Okay, in a VM based services are hosted. People also call it as a hosted, guys. VM based are hosted services. In this one, you need not to manage the infrastructure here, because infrastructure will be provided to you in the form of a virtual machine. And after that, managing the virtual machine, managing the application, and developing a solution is on you. Okay. But who will be taking care of the physical architecture? The cloud platform will be taking care of it. And if you go to the second category, that is managed services, the physical infrastructure will be taken care by the cloud platform, and managing the virtual machines also taken care by the virtual platform, and only the application and development will be taken care by you. Managing the application, managing the developing a solution will be based on you. Okay, you have to manage it. You have to take care of it. Okay, and if you go to the serverless platforms, the name itself it is saying, you need not to worry about a physical infrastructure. You need not to worry about a virtual machines. You need not to worry about a platform. Managing application, nothing but managing the platform, guys. Okay, you need not to worry about a platform. You can directly go for the development. Okay, this is what the cloud platforms are doing a best thing for us. Okay, because they are taking care of a lot of burden from us. If you go to the virtual machine based, an entire virtual machine will be provided to you. When they have given a virtual machine to you, all the configuration will be given to you, guys. If you need this much of, if you need 500 GB, 1 TB, 10 TB, 100 TB of storage, networking properties, as well as a RAM, if you need to have a lot of CPU, you can select it. Okay, so a highly robust virtual machine, you can select it. If you go to your laptop is a small machine which will be having only small configuration. But if you wanted to have a very heavy machine with a large properties, you can select it. Okay, that properties will be, that management of the virtual physical infrastructure will be taken care by the cloud platform. How, sir? We already seeing some data centers, right? Google have its Google data center, Amazon having its Amazon, and that's where they are managing the physical infrastructure and managing the virtual machine, managing the application and developing an application will be on you when you go to the VM based services. If you go to the managed services, physical infrastructure as well as managing the virtual machine will be taken care by them. Only the application development, application and its development will be upon you. Okay. And if you go to the serverless, only the development part you are talking about. Because we will see in our upcoming classes, what is the fully managed, what is the serverless. So if you go to the VM managed, you can look at the compute engines. Okay, compute engines are there. Kubernetes engines are there. GCA, GKE. So these are all comes under VM based services. Guys. If you look at the managed services, we are every day looking at managed or fully managed. You can see that. So managed services are like, managed services, Dataproc you can think of. Very good example, Dataproc. Managed services. And for the serverless, BigQuery is the best example. Dataflow is a one more example. So you need to categorize the services in such a way that it will be very helpful for you to understand it. Because in a company, if a client asks you whether what kind of because we are looking for a serverless platform, you should be in a position to understand what is the serverless platform. If they are looking for a semi-serverless platform or a managed services, you should be in a position because serverless platforms provide you a lot of benefit when you are when you talk about a cost. Okay, when you talk about a managed services, the cost will be okay, and you have to manage some amount of things like managing the application. So there is some burden on you managing the application. So you have to take care. Your team has to take care about managing the application. But when you go to the serverless, your team need not to worry about application management, because you can directly go for the development. All other things like physical infrastructure, managing the virtual machine, managing the application will be taken care by the cloud platform itself. If I talk about a GCP, the same thing. Okay, we have a cloud platforms. When I say a cloud platform, we have a GCP is there, we have AWS is there, we have Azure is there. It is common for all of these things, sir. It is not only this concept is similar, this concept is same for all of it. Is a in general concept. Okay, now you got it. What is a VM based, what is a managed, what is a serverless. Now, if I go to Google Cloud Storage, it is managed or fully managed. Fully managed is also called as a serverless, sir, sometimes. Okay. If you go to the Google Cloud Storage is a fully managed service. Okay, what is that, sir? It is a fully managed service. What does that mean? It is all the infrastructure required for the, okay, all the, you can also say it is actually a managed service or fully managed. Actually, I can't. This one. Okay, so a managed service. When I say a managed service, all the infrastructure, physical infrastructure, as well as the virtual machines will be taken care by the GCP. Okay, what are the rest, guys? You have to create your own application. Okay, when I say application, how the Google Cloud Tower, how the Google Cloud Storage operates, you have to understand. Then only you will be able to understand the what is meant by fully managed service. Because I know that Google Cloud Storage is operates with help of the bucket and files. You have to, when I say a fully managed service, all the physical infrastructure and virtual machine will be taken care by the GCP, and bucket configuration you have to provide. What is meant by that? You have to provide the bucket configuration. When you provide the bucket configuration, a bucket will be created for you. Okay, and after that you can upload files, you can go for the development. When I say development for the GCP is creating a file or uploading a file, uploading a lot of files, creating many buckets, so like that. Okay, what is meant by fully managed? All the resources as well as infrastructure will be taken care by the GCP itself. So for that point, I have explained all the things, guys, because this terminology will come all the time. So that's the reason I have told, I have explained here. Now, sir, it is now I understand that it is a fully managed services. So the infrastructure will be taken care by the GCP. That is fine. So now tell me what kind of a service that the Google Cloud Storage is. What is the main intention of having a Google Cloud Storage in the GCP? So if you ask me, it is a service for storing and retrieving the data. Okay, so what kind of a service it is, sir? If you ask me, it is a service for storing and retrieving the data. Sir, what kind of a data I can store here? Sir, what format data I can store here? Sir, how many files I can store here? Okay, sir, how much amount of data I can store here? Okay, so sir, it is a fully managed service. It is a service, I would say. It is instead of that, a service for storing and retrieving the data. So when I say talking about storing and retrieving the data, how much data I can store, any amount of data, any number of files, any format data, any kind of a data, we can able to store in the GCS, guys. Okay. So this is what is the main intention. What is the purpose of a Google Cloud Storage? If you ask me, it is a storage and retrieving tool. You can store any amount of data, any number of files, and if you wanted and need to have if you wanted to have the data to be retrieved at some point of time, you can also retrieve this data. Okay. So this is what it is. And one more thing. So how the Google Cloud Storage operates? Okay, sir, it is a fully managed, that is fine, and the purpose of the service is also fine, but how it operates? Okay, how it operates? Sir, it operates via bucket and files. Okay, it operates via bucket and files. Sir, some people does not know what is a bucket. I want you to understand this terminology now. Okay. Sir, what is a bucket? Sir, a bucket is a container. The terminology is this one, sir. Bucket is nothing but a container, or some, if you does not know what is a container also, you can think of your folder. Okay, a container is not, a bucket is nothing but a container, and terminology for the object is nothing but a file of any format. Okay, so this is what is the terminology, sir. Now you will understand. So in a Google Cloud Storage, we are storing something and we are retrieving the something. So how the Google Cloud Storage operates? Sir, in a Google Cloud Storage, it operates via bucket and objects. I should mention here objects, not files, because the terminology is an object. Okay, it operates via bucket and objects. Okay, what is a bucket? A container or a folder. What is an object? A file of any format. So what does that mean, sir? If it is operating via bucket and object, do I have to create a bucket to store the objects? Yes. So you have to create, we have to create to store the objects. Okay, we have to create a bucket. We have to create a bucket. So any number of buckets you can create it, any number of files you can upload it to one bucket. So this is what is it. This is how the Google Cloud Storage operates. Okay, how the Google Cloud Storage operates, sir? A Google Cloud Storage operates via bucket and objects. So in a terminology, what is a bucket, sir? A bucket is nothing but a container, and an object is a file of any format. And we have to create, if I wanted to store some data, what I have to do, sir? If I wanted to store some data inside a Google Cloud Storage, what I have to do? I have to go to the Google Cloud Storage and try to create a bucket, and inside that I can upload the objects. What do you mean by objects, sir? It is nothing but a data, nothing but a file, right? So this is what it is how operates. Sir, so far everything seems good. The fourth point I want you to understand that it allows, Google Cloud Storage allows worldwide storage and retrieval. Okay, that means, what does that mean, sir? I do not know. One more basic concept it is coming, sir. You have to understand there is a concept of region, multi-region, multi-region, and one more thing is a region, multi-region, dual region. Okay, so this is what, if it is allowing a worldwide storage and retrieval, what does that mean, sir? At any location you can able to store the data, at from any other location you will be able to retrieve the data, but you have to select a proper region and multi-region and dual region. According to that, if you wanted to store and retrieve the data within the region, you can go for the within the region option. And if you go to the multi-region, the data will be retrieved across all the regions. And dual region means within 2 regions. Okay, we will see this difference. Okay, this is actually takes some time, so we will see this difference tomorrow. Okay, what is the main intention of having a regional service, regional storage and multi-regional storage and dual region storage? Because there is a difference between them, and there is an advantage also there, and there is a cost in terms of a cost also. You can look at it, guys. If I go to the region, the cost will be little lesser. When I say dual region, the cost will be little higher. If I go to a multi-region, the cost will be little more higher. And we will see that tomorrow, the main difference, why it is. So that is one thing that we will see tomorrow, guys. The fifth point is, as I told you, scalable and secured platform. What does that service, sir? It is a one more final point, sir. It is a scalable and secured platform. So we will see what is meant by secured platform. And I just want you to give you an overall heads up to the Google Cloud Storage. Now you got it. What is a Google Cloud Storage? The only thing you have to understand today is that what is a Google Cloud Storage, and what is the main purpose of having it, who will be taking care of the resources here, and how it operates, how the Google Cloud Storage operates, and what kind of a tool it is, whether it is a storage, worldwide storage or a retrieval service, and whether can we go for a secure, whether it is a secure platform and scalable platform or not. This is the only point you have to understand, guys. Tomorrow we will see how to create a bucket. Inside that, all these things, like when I say secure platform, right? So we can able to say access control, and very basic concepts we are going to see tomorrow. Object versioning. What is mean by all of this terminology? We will see retention policy. Okay. Okay. And one more thing is also there, storage classes. Okay, we can also go for the storage classes. While you are creating a bucket, there is also a storage classes. So tomorrow we will see all of these things, sir. Whenever you wanted to create a bucket, so you can select a proper bucket name and a location where you wanted to. So when you wanted to create a bucket, you have to give a proper name to the bucket. Okay, you have to give a proper name to the bucket, and you have to select the location of the bucket, and you have to select the proper storage class for the bucket, and we have to select the access control, and we have to select the object versioning and retention policy. Retention policy. Okay, tomorrow we will see while we are creating a bucket, all of these concepts we will see because these are the practical concepts. Okay, so what are these? How we have to give a proper name to the bucket, because it is not directly, sir, I can give any name. Okay, it is not like that. It has to be a globally unique name. How to select a location? When I say select a location, we know that we have a region option is there, we have a dual region option is there, we have a multi-region option is also there. And storage classes, there are 4 storage classes like standard, nearline, cold line, and archive. Access control also we have 2 options. Access control at rate bucket level, access control at rate object level is also there. So we have to see all of these things while we are creating a bucket. Okay, today hope you got some idea about a Google Cloud Storage as well as the different varieties of the services in the cloud platforms. Okay, yeah, any questions so far on the Google Cloud platform, guys?
If we created a storage in a region type, after that we can change to multi-region or dual region after uploading the files in region.
No, that's what. So there are few properties that you can change it. There are few properties once the bucket is created, you cannot change it. Okay. So that is, I have actually properly documented that. Tomorrow, I think we will see. Okay. What is a bucket and how to create a bucket. So bucket configuration. See, when you look at the bucket configuration here the location, you see for the location, this is we have selected a US West one and it is not editable. Okay, so when you create a bucket, you cannot, once you have selected a proper location to that bucket, you cannot later edit it. If you wanted to edit it, you just have to delete your entire bucket and you have to create your bucket with that particular location. Okay, that location is a region, multi-region, dual region as per your question, right? But there are few things, as you selected a storage class standard as well as access control fine grained, so labels if you wanted to add. So these are the editable properties. Okay, so this is a metadata of the bucket. There will be a metadata for the object will also be there, guys. There are 2 things: metadata about object, metadata about bucket. So in a metadata about bucket, you will be able to understand which properties can be changeable even after the bucket is created, and which properties cannot be able to change later after the creation of the bucket. Okay, so as we talking about, once a location is selected, location type region is selected, you cannot change it later. Hope I have answered your question.
Yeah.
Sir, one question.
Yeah.
So in terms of, suppose we create a bucket and we have it in one region, and suppose we don't want to delete that bucket, we just want to replicate that bucket and keep a duplicate of that, and with added functionality in terms of adding location as well. So can we do that?
Yes. So this is for, it's a one scenario that what you wanted to do is like you have 2 buckets, right? It's 2 buckets, right? It's not only 1 bucket, right? So as I told you, because I'll tell you why I said 2 buckets, because when you wanted to create a bucket, the name of the bucket is globally unique name. Okay, you cannot give a same name to the 2 buckets. First thing. Okay, so when you give it 2 names, that means if they are two buckets, right? So what do you wanted to do is like whenever I upload one file to 1 bucket, you wanted to have that same file in 1 more bucket also, because you wanted to copy the data. So that kind of scenarios that we can see in our upcoming topics, because I have such kind of scenarios we can easily have with help of the cloud functions. I will create a one cloud function code. That cloud function code will be doing is like, it is a serverless platform. In the backend, what it will do, it will try to copy whatever the data that you are uploading to the 1 bucket, and it will copy it to the 1 more bucket, so that whenever you do that activity, it will be backend, it will be doing this activity as well, so that there is a copy of your data. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, this can be done. Yes, we will be having such kind of scenarios, plenty of practical scenarios we are seeing. And I want you to, if you are coming across such kind of a scenarios in your company also, you tell me, we will implement that solution. Okay, so that we will do, guys. Okay, I just don't want you to tell you a course and stop it here. I just want you to, if you guys have such kind of a scenario, sir, I am facing this kind of a problem, so can we implement such kind of a solution, or can we at least see an architecture for this solution? So that kind of scenarios we will see if you are coming across. So please let me know. That's not a problem. And someone is asking a question, can you teach how to create a bucket via SDK? Sir, yes, we will create a bucket with the help of the Cloud Shell. Yes, of course. So I will tell you how to create a bucket two ways, sir. You can also see here. So because each and every, I want you to understand this point. I think I might not have told you this point. So let me tell you this point. Where is this? Yeah. So, sir, very important thing. I will write it here. There are two ways. There are more ways, but mainly two ways for me. Two ways to interact with GCP services. There are actually two ways for me. Okay, I don't know how people say, but for me, in my classes, I will tell there are two ways if you wanted to interact with the GCP services. One is UI, one more is code. Okay, one UI is nothing but a control. Code is nothing but a Cloud Shell or Cloud SDK. Okay, or SDK, Cloud SDK. Okay, this is what. In UI, we know that how we are interacting with the help of the user interface, nothing but a drag and drop, clicking something. That is what is a UI. If you wanted to interact with the services, if you wanted to use any service in the GCP, you can go with this way. Okay, this is a manual process. Sir, I wanted to create a bucket, or I wanted to delete something, or I wanted to interact with the Google Cloud Storage. You can also interact from the code, that is Cloud Shell or Cloud SDK, from anywhere. So these things also we will be seeing, guys. It is not that we are also looking, because I wanted to understand the concepts via UI, but tomorrow I wanted to automate it with the help of the code, because we are not just stopping here, because there are professionals who are automating the processes. Automating can only be done with help of the code. So there are two ways to interact with the GCP services. Keep this in mind, sir. Whenever you are getting any doubt, anything can be done with help of the UI, anything can be done with the help of the code. Okay, creating a bucket. Tomorrow, if I wanted to create a bucket, yeah, sorry.
Through code, we can use REST API also.
Yeah, through REST APIs also we can use it, but most of the people using these things. So even I am covering these two only. That is the reason I have mentioned REST API is also there, and there is also one more thing is also there, mobile application also. But most of the times we will be using this thing only. Even in the companies also, people use UI as well as Cloud SDK or Cloud Shell. Yeah. Okay. And one more question: any Terraform Ansible tools required for automation? Sir, no. Any Terraform and Ansible tools required for automation? No, sir. Our main intention is to have a data to be created and automated with the help of the pipeline. So that is what we are going to do. That is SQL plus Python is enough for this course. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
In real time, we will be creating the bucket, or admin team, they will create the bucket and hand over to us.
No. So there are two ways. So if you go to, there are two, it depends upon your company, guys. If you go to the MNC companies, you will be having a dedicated team for the admin. So they will be doing the admin activities. Admin, I would not say admin. So there are two, admin, or you can also DevOps. Okay. They will be taking care of the resources, infra related things, they are taking care of it. Okay. But if you go to the tier 2 companies, tier 3 companies, what they do is like something like startups or some low base, I mean, not product, some basic product based companies are, you know, if you go to small scale companies, what small scale? Okay. What they do is like they will provide an entire, because it is a small startup company, and you have to do everything on your own. In that case, you will be getting a chance to work on the UI. You will be getting a chance to creating a bucket, anything. You yourself have to work with the admin activities as well. That means IAM, all of those things, and permissions, roles. You yourself have to create a bucket. But when you are going to the MNC companies, most of the times they will not providing you access to do that. But there is an environment called sandbox. In that sandbox, you can do anything. But if you look at the prod environment, they will not provide you no access at all. Okay. If you wanted to practice anything, you can go and do it in the sandbox. But in the startup, you will be providing an access to all of the things. You can able to work with that. So this is what it is. Okay. Yeah. You will team BigQuery with loading files with the real-time scenarios. Yes, guys, I will teach. It's not team, right? You will teach. Yes. So you will teach BigQuery with loading files with the real-time scenarios. Don't worry about that. We will be having a plenty of such scenarios. Data proc, data flow, everywhere we are using the BigQuery. And I will take some CSV files. I'll upload it to the. I'll upload them as a. I will upload it to, sorry, I will create a tables on top of those CSV files. And one more thing also, what we will do is like, we will automate that process. Okay. As I told you, I don't want it to manually do it tomorrow. Okay. If a CSV file available in the GCS bucket, what I wanted to do, sir, automatically it has to create a table inside the BigQuery. Okay. That automatic scenarios we will see. Don't worry about that, sir. Plenty of automations, plenty of scenarios, topics, real-time things we are going to see in our thing, guys. Don't worry about that. Yeah. Just to focus on the knowledge, you will be able to get a lot of, real-time scenarios from me. The only thing is like, please be attentive during the class. Yeah. Yeah. Now, so this is enough for today. What I will do is like, I will try to tell you how to create an account. So we will see tomorrow rest of the concepts. Okay. Now let us see how to create a bucket. Sorry. It's already 8:20, guys. Okay. So let me. Can we see it tomorrow or shall we see it today itself? Sir, I would tell you. So some people are asking for the. Yeah. Some people are asking for the slides and some people are asking. So slides I may not be sharing with you. But what I will do is like, I will share you the material. Okay, what is that material? It is a very robust, and you see the material for the Google Cloud Storage tomorrow. Today we have seen, right? What is the Google Cloud Storage? This is access to my notes I will give you, sir. What is a GCS? How to create a bucket? All the concepts, high level concepts. And note, oh, here I have mentioned, sir, whenever you use any service in the Google Cloud platform, okay, this is one more thing, two costs associated. One is storage cost, retrieval cost. Tomorrow we will see this point. Okay. So these notes I will provide it to you guys. Okay. I will provide access to my notebook. This is my OneNote notebook. We will be having all of these things here only. So I will provide access to that. And so that for that one, I want everyone to complete your registrations. Then only there will be a group created. There I will provide the link for that so that you will be able to access it. And access also not provided to all guys, only for those who have registered. And if I got an email from the team, I will provide access to that particular email. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So please complete your registration tomorrow. So please remember, make me remember, sir, tomorrow first thing we will create a bucket. We will create an account. Okay. Later only we will see the rest of the things. Yeah. Because it's already 8:20. Even I am having some other tasks. Yeah. Okay, guys. Thank you all. Hope you learned something today. So I want you to learn everything, almost everything, every day, whatever we are speaking. If you are unable to understand, please try to ask me. So that wouldn't be a problem. You can raise a question. You can raise anything. If you wanted to see a real-time things also, you can do. Okay. Complete your registration to get the notes, guys. Okay. Thank you all. Hope you learned something today. Thank you all. Hello guys, very good morning everyone. Hope you guys are doing good. Welcome to the session today. So let us start the session. If you remember, yesterday we had discussed about the introduction of the Google Cloud Storage, right? What is a Google Cloud Storage, guys? Google Cloud Storage is one of the fully managed service. What does that mean? One of the fully managed means fully managed is nothing but all the resources required for the managing the files as well as storing the files and retrieving will be taken care by the GCP itself. We need not to worry about that thing. The only thing we have to worry about is like how to create a bucket and how to upload a file. And after that, how to make sure the data is controlled and need not to worry about the resources required to build this GCS. And one more thing, we have to worry about what are the storage classes we need to take care of it, and the location as well as object version. And what kind of a tool it is, guys? If you ask me, Google Cloud Storage is a service for storing your any type of a data, any kind of a data, any number of files we can store here. And how the Google Cloud Storage operates? Google Cloud Storage operates via bucket, okay, and objects. What is a bucket, guys? A bucket is nothing but a container to store your objects. And what is your file object, guys? Object is nothing but a file. Okay, it allows worldwide storage and retrieval. It is a scalable and secured platform. So this is all about a introduction to the Google Cloud Storage. Now the question is how to create a bucket. Sir, as I told you, if I wanted to work with any of the service in the GCP, there are two ways. One is via console, one more is via command line tool. Okay, so let me open. Okay. So if I wanted to work with a interactive, to interact with GCP, how many ways we can interact with the GCP? Guys, there are plenty of ways. There is REST APIs, there are many things, but mainly as a developer, as a data engineer, we are going to work with, we are going to focus on two things. Okay, that is, one is user interface. That is what we call as a console. One more is command line tool. That is your shell or SDK. Okay, so these are the two ways that we can work with. Now the question is how to create a bucket from the console. That is one thing, and also how to create a bucket from the command line tool. So these are the two things that we will see, guys. Okay. So now let us see. Let me go to the console and tell you how to create a bucket and how to interact with the, and while creating a bucket, what are the things that we have to take care? One by one we will see. And likewise, how to create a bucket from the command line tool. That means with the help of the commands, with the help of the Linux commands, how to create a bucket also we will see. Okay, all of these things one by one we will see. Okay. For that one, let me go to my let me go to console. Okay. Login in. I am logging into my console, guys. Google Cloud. Okay, so let me first give you an introduction to the Google Cloud platform here, the interface. So when you logged into your Google Cloud, so this is how the interface looks like. Okay, in the interface top left, you will be able to see all the services. This is your navigation menu. where you will be able to see all the list of services or the products available in the Google Cloud. Okay, so this is one thing. And one more thing, once you have here, so everything is worked by project, guys. Okay, this is something that we are going to start maybe tomorrow or day after tomorrow, about what is a project and how to interact with all of these things. We will see tomorrow, guys. But for now, just understand that. So when you wanted to work with any of the service in the GCP, okay, when you wanted to work with any of the service in the GCP, we have to enter, we have to select a proper project. Either we have to select an existing project or we can create a new project. Okay, how to create a new project, guys? Click on this new project. You will provide your project ID, project number, that's it. Okay, new project will be created. So each and every product in the GCP will be can be tracked from the project only, and billing also enabled from the project only. If you don't select a proper project, the project you cannot be able to work with any of the resources. And one more thing, you have to enable the billing only, otherwise you can able to unable to work with the GCP services. And while you are working with any of the service, there will be a API, you have to enable the API. All these things are linked to a project only, because all the tracking of the billing will be done from the projects. Okay, so this is one thing, guys. Okay, now once you have here, sir, if you wanted to work with any of the service in the GCP, either you can go to the left navigation menu, select that service. Like if you are working with the Google Cloud Storage, you can select here. No, you wanted to directly select it, you can directly search that particular service. You can also select from here. Okay, Google Cloud Storage. And after that, sir, there is a free trial status, how much amount of money that is left in your free trial status and how many days it is, you can able to see from here. Okay, and here this is where you can able to activate your Cloud Shell, sir. If we wanted to work with the Cloud Shell, nothing but a command line tool, where this is where the place you have to go and click on activate the Cloud Shell. When you click on activate the Cloud Shell, one more at the bottom you will be able to see a command line tool will be opened for us. It takes like almost 30 seconds. For the first time it can take 30 to 40 seconds. You see here a Cloud Shell terminal will be opened for us. Okay, so this is a we will see what is actually a Cloud Shell and what kind of a tool it is and how to an introduction to the Cloud Shell also I will tell you guys, but now let us not worry about that. And after that, this is where you will be able to see all the notifications when you create a bucket, when you delete a bucket, when you move something, you will be able to see here. And the settings, if you wanted to go to the project settings, you can go from here. And all the, if you wanted to add one more account, a sign out account, and you wanted to look at your account details, so from here you will be able to do it. So this is all about the interface of the Google Cloud, guys. In a Google Cloud, you will be able to have a navigation menu for selecting the each and every service, or go to the search box for selecting a proper service. And one more thing is like, you can select a proper project here. Either you can select an existing project or create a new project. And here you can go to the project settings as well from here. Okay. And one more thing is like activate Cloud Shell. So you can able to see the Cloud Shell was activated. You will be able to see. So whenever you are working from the console, also the very first thing is like you select a project, right? Likewise, whenever you work from a Cloud Shell, also you select a proper project. Okay. So this project by default, this project is selected. How I know every project is tracked with the help of their project ID, guys. So this is your project ID, Arboreal Avatar, right? Here you see Arboreal Avatar. So this is your project ID. And if you wanted to select one more project from the Cloud Shell, so the thing here is like you have to mention this one, Google Cloud config set project, and that project ID you have to mention, so that you will be able to enter one more project. And here from the console, if you wanted to go to a one more project, you directly click on that one. So like how you are clicking on this one, you click on one more project, that project will be selected. So if you are working in that project, that means all the billing will be enabled to that particular project only. Okay. So this is what is all about the introduction to the GCP console as well as Cloud Shell, guys. And I want you to understand what is a Cloud Shell also now. Okay, I think, do I have somewhere the Cloud Shell information? No. No. Yeah, here it is. Yes. Okay. So what is a cloud? As I told you guys, if anyone wanted to interact with the GCP services, there are two ways. Okay. The very first thing is web user interface. Then the very next thing is command line tool, that either Cloud Shell terminal or an editor. Cloud Shell terminal or SDK. So these are the two ways that we can work with. And one more thing, what is a Cloud Shell? Because we know that console is a web interface. We know how the web interface works. But what does this Cloud Shell serve? A Cloud Shell is a very small Linux operating system, guys. It is a command line tool. It has a 5 GB storage. Storage size is 5 GB, and it has a language support to SQL, Python, Go, Java, all of these things. If we wanted to work with the shell, we first activate it. After that, we select a proper project and use shell commands and Linux commands to interact with the each and every services. Okay, so this is what is a Cloud Shell, guys. You should not you should understand that the Cloud Shell is a very small machine. When I say a very small machine, it does have a Linux operating system, and it is having only 5 GB persistent disk storage, and it has a language support to SQL, Python, Go, Java. Okay, so whenever you wanted to interact with any of the service from the Cloud Shell, you provide a proper command from the Cloud Shell to interact with that particular service. That commands will be available. I will tell you how to do that, because I have listed here. Okay, one by one we will see. We need not to, hurry. We are not in a hurry, guys. So what we will do, so whenever I interact with any of the services, there are two ways I will tell you. For example, today I am working about a Google Cloud Storage. I will tell how to create a bucket from the console. I will also tell you how to interact with the Cloud Shell, how to interact with the Google Cloud Storage from the Cloud Shell also. Okay, two ways we will see. Now we understood that the interface, there are two ways that we can interact. One is console and via Cloud Shell. Now we will go to the Google Cloud Storage and try to create a bucket in the console.
Hello.
Yep.
I'm on doubt, sir.
Yeah.
So what is the difference between this Cloud Shell, which are working with the Linux operating system and tool?
Yes.
So what is the difference between this Cloud Shell and the SSH? During the computer engine we are creating now, so there we are getting into the SSH. The same screen is getting what different is there?
Where we will be able to interact with each and every service in GCP. And one more, this SSH terminal is only for that particular virtual machine, right? So you cannot interact with all the GCP services. If you want to interact with that particular virtual machine, what you provide some commands. You wanted to upload some file, you wanted to delete some file, you wanted to see some information, you wanted to access some information, you wanted to provide some permission. So all of those things are related to that particular virtual machine. Okay, there also you will be using a Linux commands, and those commands are also similar. But the thing is, like, it is only specific to that virtual machine. But here, Cloud Shell is a overall service or in general service or a primitive service where you can able to interact with each and every service in the GCP. All the resources, all the permissions, everything can be done from the Cloud Shell as well. So that is the main difference, guys. Okay.
Okay, sir. Then what is the purpose of SSH? Sir, we can directly interact with what are the comments we are giving in SSH?
No. So you have to understand that one more thing is like if I wanted to interact, because see a virtual machine, as I told you, you have to understand this thing as well. A cloud shell is a small machine. When I mention a small machine, it have only the 5 GB persistent disk storage. And when you go to the virtual machine will be having a lot of storage. Sir, I wanted to move a file from a file of 10 GB to a virtual machine. That I can do, but I cannot load it to the Google Cloud Shell, right? Because it has only 5 GB. When I say 5 GB, you can only store until 4.5 GB of storage only. So it's not possible. But when I say virtual machine, you can able to store any amount of data as per your storage requirements. If you have given a configuration of storage like 500 GB, you can store 500 GB also. You can store 1 TB also. According to your requirement, you create a virtual machine. But it is not. It is just a small machine to interact with this and that. But it is not for running a heavy things. Okay, even you go for a heavy complex things, it will not. It will struck because it's a very small machine. But SSH terminal is a very. It's like your shell commands. Okay, you for example, you have a laptop, right? When you go to a laptop, you have a command line tool, right? That's like your SSH terminal. Okay, that means when you wanted to work with your laptop, you have a user interface that you go do this and that. But in the command line tool, you have a command CMD. When you enter a command called CMD in your search button, you will be able to open that command line tool. You can also work with from the command line tool from any of the services. Okay, when you wanted to work with any of the services in your local laptop, so if you wanted to work with this thing, that thing, you can able to work with. So that is like your SSH terminal. Okay, a full machine and its own everything will be controlled by SSH. Not only the SSH. If you open, for example, if your virtual machine is a Windows operating system, then you can again do with a user interface also. Okay, but if you have selected Ubuntu or Debian, so then you can able to only work with the commands only in that case. So that is what that command line tool is, nothing but SSH terminal. Yeah.
Well, okay. Whether that G-Cloud and GSUtil, both commands will work in SSH.
Of course, yes, it will work. G-Cloud commands will work, yes. But you have to import it before that. Okay, because SSH terminal is specific to that virtual machine, but it does not understand the Google Cloud. Even though I am working in a Google Cloud, it does not understand. So what you do, you import all the modules. Okay, when you import all the modules, it will work.
All the modules,
so we will see in our upcoming classes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So guys, Google Cloud Storage we are seeing, right? So how to create a bucket and how to interact with the how to create a bucket, how to create a folder, and how to upload a file inside this Google Cloud Storage one by one we will see now. Okay. So for example, when you are inside a Google Cloud Storage, this is how the interface looks like. If you wanted to create a bucket, click on create bucket. Keep yourself muted, guys. Okay, when you click on a create bucket, so as I told you, there are few things that we have to remember while creating a bucket. Okay, first thing, while providing a name of your bucket, we have to pick a proper globally unique name. When I say globally unique name, no one has used so far this particular name as a Google Cloud Storage bucket. Okay, so some disturbance, 1 minute. Yeah. So, when I say globally unique name, so far no one has used this name as a Google Cloud Storage bucket. No one, when I say it's not me, it's not you, it's everyone. Whoever so far worked on the Google Cloud Storage, for example, I did not create a bucket with the name of the bucket called a bucket. Okay. But someone might have used it. Okay. So this bucket name is already taken. bucket 1, bucket 2, bucket 3, something like that. If you give a normal name, it might have created by someone might have used this kind of a bucket name already. So you cannot be able to create it. So it should be a properly unique name so that you can able to give that to your bucket. So for now, I am going to give storage underscore bucket underscore resources. Okay, so this is the bucket. I have given a proper bucket name, which will not, I believe that which will not be used by anyone so far. Even though if still this is the 10102, I will give. Okay, so this name no one has used so far. It is a globally unique name. Now, after that, once you have given a proper name to the bucket, click on continue. And this is where we have to worry about a location. So I want you to understand about a location, sir. While you are creating a bucket, the very important thing you have to remember is one of the important thing is location, guys. Okay. I'm hearing a lot of noise. 1 minute.